Hey guys, it's time for a fall garden tour. What would you like to say?
Look.
You're all clean now?
Look.
You have a boo-boo?
Right there is a boo-boo.
Oh boy. She was all just really dirty and messy and muddy. Now she's mostly clean. Let's show you our garden. It has definitely changed a lot since we last showed you our garden. A lot of things have been harvested, a lot of things have grown. So, let's show you what's happening.
This plant has, look.
What? It's got more buds on it?
Yeah.
No way. This tomato plant has trellised up our trellis cattle panel, and it is probably a good 6.5 feet tall. The problem is the tomatoes on it don't taste very good. The zinnias, this batch is pretty much done. I need to kind of clean them up a little bit. We have an imaginary volunteer one right here coming right in our walk path. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We've harvested lots of basil out of here, out of our basil plants, and they're coming back. I think our tomatoes are just done. The bugs just keep munching them and putting little black dots in them, and they look yucky or rot on the vine. So I think I'm just going to take these guys out because they're done, and we're done eating them. Our peppers are finally actually coming to life. Look, this big, huge pepper. This is what I wanted to show you all summer. Pepper, yeah, peppers. Anna's little pepper plant. She harvested a really orange one the other day off of there. Our bean plants in the middle here are coming along. Here, scooch down a little bit more. This one, this pepper plant has so many peppers on it, I had to get the trap over here to keep them off the ground because I knew we were getting like a hurricane coming through, and I didn't want them to rot on the ground. So this one's turning red. Pretty excited about that. And it just was so heavy, like the branches were just bowing down. I mean, there's, 6 peppers on this little tiny plant. Peppers on that plant. Beans growing on those other bean plants that I'll talk about in a little bit. This marigold is just gone crazy and taken over.
That is Sleeshine.
Oh.
Sleeshine.
There was one day I was coming along through here and I was taking out some of the tomato plants and I found my eggplant. And it actually was still alive. This is my last eggplant. I still have yet to get any eggplants from it, but it had 2 flowers on it, so that was exciting. But I don't see any fruit, so I don't think we're getting any eggplant anyway. This tomato plant is coming back to life. Oh boy. More beans. More dead tomatoes that are just exploding over that way. Dead marigold or dying marigold. Beans, more beans. My King of the North pepper has a pepper on it, a couple peppers on it.
These are seeds.
Yeah, how do you harvest the seeds from there? You just take the flower head?
Yeah.
And just pull them out. It works best when they're dry, right?
Yeah.
It's not dry today. But then each one of those little guys is a marigold seed, right? Gotta show it down here.
There's a key.
Yeah, lots of marigold seeds.
Yeah,
She loves pulling them off.
Yeah,
This is where I have garlic planted in here. Cool story about the garlic. I discovered a feed store near us, well, farm equipment store near us, has garlic. I got, what was it, half a pound, I think, for $4, I think. Yeah, that sounds about right. And I got a whole bunch of carrot seeds and beet seeds and mustard seeds for super cheap, like under $1 for a whole bunch of seeds. So that was really cool to find that. Hey, you're getting all dirty. To find that really cool local place to support. So I planted the garlic in here. I think there's like about 50 cloves. Yeah, 50 cloves. These flowers are still doing well. A few of them have died, but not too many. Just the purple ones are still doing okay. My poblano, it's flowering really good, so we might get another batch if it doesn't freeze. That'd be cool.
Look.
What?
Look.
Yeah, there's lots of little blossoms on there. Oh, was there a butterfly?
No, it is a big butterfly.
A big butterfly like that big? Wow.
Like this huge.
No way. That huge? And this flower garden, it's pretty much done. But, well, our basil has gone to seed, and in a few weeks we'll be able to harvest it. That was the good kind of basil. The sweet basil. There's a random tomato plant in here, random basil over there, this volunteer. This flower garden looks incredibly sad. Oof. So wild and jungly. Blech. Lots more beans. This tomato plant survived the blight, and it's got a few tomatoes down there growing, which is pretty exciting. random volunteer tomato plant. Let's cut through here. Alright. Beans still growing up what's left of the sunflower house. I cleaned up the rest of the sunflower house to, make it look better. These flowers over here have volunteered and grown a whole bunch of new ones. So funny. They just dropped their seeds and grew a whole bunch more. I think we had a few more carrots in here that we're still trying to grow, but I don't know. This tomato plant needs to come out. Nothing in here. Took out all that stuff. This tomato plant, and it just needs to come out because I'm not harvesting from it. We have volunteer mustard, the self-seeded from our other mustard that we had here. And I let it go to seeds. We have 3 plants there. We have 1 big plant over there. Pretty exciting. These onions are still looking very, very beautiful. Look at that. I think Anna is over there gathering some seeds. And those spider flowers. Our strawberries are still doing well. That plant gave us 6 strawberries the other day, which might not seem like a ton, but they were delicious. They taste like wild strawberries. So good. So this is where we planted the rest of our farm equipment store seeds. Planted a bunch of carrots, and they sprouted, so they're growing. This is some tender green mustard that's growing. And over there are 2 beets that I've found so far. Hopefully a few more will sprout, because I had more in there, but oh well, if they don't. This batch of beans has been doing really well. I also planted cilantro in the middle, and it's growing well. Yesterday we got a huge rain, and this was all underwater. This whole little trench was underwater, but it's surviving. Beans in the corn patch. Yep, they're still doing their thing, just growing. This pepper plant is yet to give me any peppers. None, nada. Guess that's what happens when you grow a grocery store pepper. This tomato plant just needs to come out. Marigold is still putting nice color in here. This has been pretty cool. Our nasturtiums have come back to life crazily since the temperatures have dropped, and they are so beautiful. Just like, wow, this bush was never this big when it was in season for it in the spring. So excited to see that come back. We transplanted out our onions. A bunch in here, and hopefully they will continue to grow well during the fall into winter. I don't know how long to let them grow, like if they will grow through the winter or if they'll die before winter, but whatever. It's an experiment. More mustard growing over here, and some romaine lettuce over there, and a couple mushrooms, and a couple plants of regular lettuce. They're not growing very fast, but they're growing. They're trying. Anyway, our peanuts are over here, and we harvested them last week, I think, and I'll show you a video about harvesting them at some point. More regular beans over here. They're producing well. And these beans on my trellis, I have only 4 plants here, but they have finally taken off and are growing a lot of beans for me. This is bean I'm letting go to seed. It's probably close to a foot long. So I'm just going to let that one go to seed. But the rest are growing well and producing a lot. There's a ton of little baby guys on here that I didn't even pick today. I already picked the bush today. This is how much I got from those 3 patches of beans. That whole basket full. The other day I got 6 cups from it, which is a lot of beans. This volunteer cherry tomato actually has tomatoes that taste good on it. Oh, we did have a potato plant over here. A volunteer potato plant growing, but I can't find it today. So, I don't know. Maybe, there's a little hole there, which means probably some kind of animal, vole or mole or something, got in there and probably munched it or something. I don't know. More beans. We're growing lots of beans this year. This is also super cool. This is a tiny little nasturtium that I'm pretty sure the plant itself died, and this is like from a seed that regrew itself. Another bright spot of color in our garden with the marigold. Another volunteer tomato. And I found something in here the other day that was super cool. This is the remnants of it. I'll show you the video of what it was when I found it. This is pretty hilarious. I just found this in my garden. There are 4 little tomato plants here, and I just pulled them up just because I thought about this afterwards. But anyway, there was a volunteer tomato plant here, and this probably was from a tomato that dropped into my mulch and sprouted. Super funny.
This is a dead tomato.
It is a dead tomato plant. This is my cantaloupe plant, not really doing too well. I think it might have gotten munched too much by the squash bugs, and a little help from a certain 3-year-old might have helped pull it up. I did have a lot of pumpkins, zucchini, other kinds of squash planted this fall, but I think because I already had squash bugs decimated them, and so they did not grow. I've heard about planting all your squash after like July here in the South, and then the squash bugs don't bother them. If you live in the South and have experience with that, I would love to know about that. So let me know down in the comments how you grow your squash when you plant them. We harvested our sweet potato harvest. Got a few good ones. I already did a video on the harvest of that, so that was pretty fun. Anna has her little mud bog down here. Playing in the mud. And this little patch of beans is still going. I planted this April 22nd or 20th, around there. And it is still going. And today is October 12th. So that is like almost 6 months of growing beans. This plant here, I'm actually going to save the bean seeds from there if they last, because they're like doing really, really well. That crazy looking bean plant that looks like it should be dead, it's still growing. So in the last part of our garden is this random bean patch mixed in with the corn. Okay, I planted this from dry beans from Aldi just to see if I could get them to grow and give it kind of a cover crop, fix nitrogen in the soil after I had the corn in here. They're producing beans like crazy. Let me see if I can find some. Here's some. Look at all these beans. So many beans. I wasn't really expecting to like get food from them, but I mean, if it doesn't frost for a few more weeks, they could easily dry up and be good for me to harvest. Like, this guy is just going up the fence, huge bean pods. I mean, look at these guys, huge. So yeah, that would be super cool if we actually got dry beans from them. I wasn't even planning on getting dry beans from them. Even just a few would be pretty cool. Yeah, I just planted them just for the nutrient value of them, and that's why I have beans over in the tomato patch and the pepper patch and over here where the potatoes were, because those are high nitrogen areas of my garden, and I wanted to replace the nitrogen that the plants took. So maybe next year will be a little bit better, and then I think I can just chop them up and leave them there as compost over the winter, cover them with some wood chips, which that'll be all happening in a few weeks. I'm just kind of waiting for frost to come and kill everything basically, and then I can like take everything out and cover it with compost, leaves, wood chips, all that stuff, and yeah, then let it sit all winter. I probably wouldn't do like places like where I have greens growing, because they'll probably do okay through the frost and stuff, but we'll see. I don't know. We don't really have a frost forecasted in the near future. There's one night that'll get to 38 maybe in a couple nights, so we'll see what happens with that. I don't know. And it could not even happen too. It keeps changing all the time, so we'll see. So thanks for watching our garden tour today. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.